Welcome to Mags and Tillison. In part one, we had mocked this bike up. Now it's time to take it off the skid, and I'm going to put the bike jack right under the bike and get this bike started. Let's build this bike up. And eventually we'll get it heading down that long, lonesome highway. Out with the skid and in it with the jack. And let's start building. Right, up to now the bike has come a long way since when I first got this bike, so it's starting to look really good now. Here I'm going to tighten down all the struts in the back, and I'm going to go around and I'll check every single nut and bolt on this bike first. It's starting to take shape now. Take a moment to like and subscribe. And since part one, I painted the shock springs black as well. And I wanted to make this bike stock. And, you know, that's my goal at least. I'm tightening down the shocks now and make sure they're good and tight. I have a brand new coil here, and I'll bolt a bracket down in place on top of the frame. My own set of high tension leads for this bike because they seem not to sell them now, so I just made my own set. Also, we are going to rebuild our rear tail light guide light and assemble our rear fender as well, and I'll install that on this video. That's all set to go. I had just rebuilt the swing arm as well. That's all set up. It's looking good. Okay, in part one, I painted the guide rear tail light gold, and now I'm going to start to rebuild the rear guide tail light here. And I bought a James gasket kit for it. There it is. And, you know, then I rebuilt the whole thing inside as well. That's all set to go now. James gasket kits. These are really nice. Alright, I just happen to have a can of this 3M carpet glue, and I used just a couple of dabs of that, and I put the gasket in place first, and then I'll set the glass up next. It makes it so much easier. Alright, let's go ahead and install the license plate glass next. There it is. It looks just like this. It's held in place with just a couple of screws, one on each end, left and right. Screws and clips. It's all it takes. And that's how it looks, like a brand new taillight. Alright, here I'm going to heat shrink on top of the lead coming out of the rear tail light guide lens. And I'll go ahead and heat shrink the whole thing. I have a red and a green lead. And I want to heat shrink the whole thing in first. And then after this, I'll install a guide light right on top of the rear fender. And then I'll route this red and green lead. That's going to be underneath the fender, so it's nice and waterproof. All set to install. Alright, first I'll install the rear lens and the chrome trim around the lens, and I'll install the guide tail light. Now I'm not going to really crank down on these screws very tight, just a little snugging over here. All right, next goes in my rear gasket. And we have that in place, so let's go ahead and route everything in. All right, next I'm going to lock down the tail light. I have the lock nuts and the flat washers and also the lock washers. All right, next let's go ahead and we'll route the harness all the way down the inside. All right, I'll put the harness down inside the clamps all the way down the fender here, and then I'll kind of grommet on the inside of the fender exit hole, and I'll route the harness all the way through that, and then I'll route the green and the red lead down into terminal 1 and 2, which is your brake light and your tail light. Run through my grommet kit here and try to find the right size one. That's a little bit too small, and I'll step it up. Just like so. And put that grommet right in place. And we'll route the leads all the way through the exit hole. It's just a little bit snug. And there you have it, one complete Fender assembly, just like brand new. Okay, I had to straighten out that gasket one more time, so it's perfectly straight. So I'm tightening down the bolts back one more time here. All right, now I have the gasket perfectly straight. And I'll go ahead and tighten everything down again one last time. And that's it. One complete Fender assembly, all set to install. Alright, now I have the rear fender installed, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten on all the bolts. Make sure it's nice and tight all the way around. It's starting to take shape now. Okay, now this is always the fun part when you start to put on the shiny parts. When I look back when I first got this bike, it was a total wreck. This is just exactly how I pictured this bike, how I wanted it to look. And when I first seen it, yeah, like it was a piece of junk and it needed a ton of work. But you know, now I get it at this stage and I stand back and I gotta shake my head and I gotta smile because it looks just like I thought it would. I just wanted to get another stock Sportster built again. You know, I see them chopped everywhere, but I wanted to build a stock one. And it took a long time to try to find all the right parts for it. And I didn't want like any aftermarket parts. I wanted all the old stock parts, you know. So it took a long time to hunt them down. I sure hope it stays stock too. As of right now, it's starting to look like a brand new Sportster. Yeah, I didn't want to build a show bike. I just wanted to build a nice street bike. Starting to look like a step up. It's looking to the point where it's not just a street bike. It's starting to look like a really nice street bike, you know? It's looking good. Not a scratch on it either. Yeah, it always pays to take your time with this and to do things right. It's just a satisfying thing to do. All right, here's a shot going from underneath the fender, and we'll take a little view from the front all the way to the back. We'll look straight up here. And that's all finished. Okay, the regulator's got to come off next, so I get access to terminal 1 and terminal 2, and I'll hook up the brake light and the rear tail light. The regulator's out of the way right now, and I'll hook up my brake light and my tail light right over here, terminal 1 and 2 back there. The tail light is actually 1, and the brake light is terminal 2. And I'll check my book about that one. Always check the manual, guys. Stay tuned for part 3, 4, and 5 until I get this bike done. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and you take care of yourselves. Please don't forget to subscribe and like, and we'll keep on going until we get this bike complete.